Our next speaker is Nethuki. Nethuki has chosen to talk about identity issues in athletes because it is a topic that resonates personally with her as she is an athlete herself. Through her talk, she hopes to redefine the lens athletes are viewed through, both by themselves and by others.
Let's give her a warm round of applause, everyone.
Now, we have all dreaded something before, right? I mean, where do I even begin? Whether it be being stuck in a traffic jam, or just having to wait in line at the doctor's office, or even having to sit on a plane next to the most talkative person you've ever met in your entire life. It's not a new emotion for any of us. Now, I want you to imagine feeling this dread every single day, to the point where it consumes you. This is what athletes go through when they start to trip and fall down the slippery slope that is an identity crisis. My definition of an athlete is someone that pushes their mind and body past all capabilities of their own belief. They are disciplined, dedicated, and determined, all because they have a love and passion for a sport that exceeds ordinary beliefs. For some context, I'm a rower. I joined my school's crew when I was 12 and I never looked back. It's only been 4 years, but I feel as though I've garnered a lifetime's worth of opportunities and memories through the sport. Of course, some are hazy, like the first conversation I had with my first coach. But others, I remember as though it happened yesterday. For me, one of these more vivid memories consists of a day where I had training early at dawn. I had to take my boat out onto the water, and I pushed off the dock onto the water, and soon after taking a couple of strokes, I found myself in the middle of the lake. But that was a problem. I couldn't move a single muscle. Now you see, the reason I couldn't move was not because I was cramping up, or my body was sore, or it was too early for me to row and I was too tired. No, you see, what made me stop was something that most athletes don't recognize, realize, or even address when they're faced with it. I was burnt out, beyond imagination. I had been training for months and months, and I still wasn't improving. I was failing at the one thing I was supposed to be good at. I kept criticizing every single training session I had, since I wasn't producing any results. I was devastated. It had come to the point where I'd look in a mirror, and all that reflected back at me was defeat. Now, I know this may seem very dramatic or an over-exaggeration, but it's the truth. It's the truth, and it's the story of many athletes out there who's faced this same situation. This mental problem in athletes needs to be addressed. It's something that they need to come to terms with, and they need to be discussed among their teams and their coaches. You see, when athletes are faced with these mental challenges, the line that distinguishes themselves and their personality sets them apart from their sport and their individuality as an athlete. This line, it starts to get blurry. It merges into each other. They forget that they're separate from it. Now, what's the solution? How can we help them? We forget that this is something that athletes genuinely do face. Me personally, my experience is an example of something many athletes go through. Just to put it into perspective, the American College of Sports Medicine did a study where they found that 25% of men and 30% of women who were student athletes were diagnosed with anxiety. A further study found that 35% of elite athletes suffered from depression, disordered eating, burnout, and once again, anxiety. Now, these numbers are just the tip of the iceberg. They only define the documented cases in athletes. What about those who don't even realize what they're going through? What about those who are lost and they find themselves in spaces and teams where this psychological aspect of sport is not discussed, it's neglected, it's shied away, and even belittled? Michael Phelps, a recognizable face, isn't he? He's a legend, the epitome of athleticism, he can be called. 28 Olympic gold medals, 23 of them are gold. Now, Michael Phelps remembers saying to his wife after his retirement, "I feel like I'm failing at everything I do." Even after achieving what most people dream of or spend their entire lives working towards, he couldn't find his purpose outside of his sport. He couldn't find his purpose as a person. So if he doesn't have any hope, do the rest of us? Now, we find it as humans so easy to get caught up and worry about how well we're doing in our jobs, our academics, our sport. We forget what came before any of this. Ourselves. You existed as a person before you started that job, and before you joined that school, and before you played that sport. Now, it is imperative that this is understood by athletes. We need to shift the narratives we see ourselves through. As a result of that, athletes, they need to understand that they need to learn to reconstruct that line that draws them and sets them apart from their individuality and their athletic ability. It is essential that they see their sport as an addition to them, rather than their entire definition as a person. And it is important that the environment that they are in cultivates this view and helps them and supports them through this journey to hold this love and passion that can be so easily degenerated by these negative thoughts. So let's start with me. I'm Nethuki Senanayake first, and an oarswoman second. Thank you.